This is Mr. Dad's survival right here.
It's too cold to film and do this at the same time.
Welcome back, guys. Glad to have you guys back. And we are doing an overnighter. And check out the temperature. Let me turn my car back on. I just turned it off. -1 Fahrenheit. The time is 12:03 p.m. Yes, I said -1. And I can tell you, I haven't camped out in weather like this since I was a kid. It doesn't really get this cold here in Illinois. With that being said, we're going to try this out. This is good training for myself. And these are definitely dangerous conditions, and we're going to talk more about that throughout the video, about cold weather camping and stuff. So, but with that said, we're doing an overnight, and sadly say we're not at the Secret Pine Forest. As much as I wanted to go, I really wanted to go there, but being 40 minutes away from home, and probably a mile deep in the forest away from my car, if things were to not go very well, my car is a mile away, my car might not start with it being this cold, and I haven't done this since I was a kid, so I think it's just safer to say, and just a good decision to make, to go ahead and go somewhere different. And we're at my parents' place, and my parents have some acres out here, and we got timber, which you can see, show you right here, timber all the way out in there. So that's where we're going, and I think that's just going to be a lot safer to do if anything would happen. I could go in my backyard, but that's just too close to home. So I had to get a little happy medium getting between both of those. So yep, we're doing an overnight in -1 Fahrenheit. And what's crazy is that's supposed to be the low for tonight, so I'm not sure how much colder it's going to get. But yeah. And the wind chill, it's going to be 10 to 15 mile an hour winds today, and they're calling for like -20 with the wind chill. And we'll talk more about what wind chill is and the factor it plays in cold weather. But with that said, I'm going to stop talking here, and I'm going to get stuff out of my car and get it all ready to go. And in the meantime, while I'm doing that, you guys are going to check out what I'm wearing and all the layering systems that I have on. And we'll go into detail about layering. So, all right, guys, enjoy the video. Layer number 1, the base layer. Onesie. Base layer number 2. Base layer number 3. And last but not least, base layer 4, the outer garment. For my hands, just some USGI gloves, along with the USGI mittens and the liners inside. For my feet, liner socks, some thick wool socks, USGI Mickey boots. For my headwear, USGI patrol cap with the air flaps, Outdoor Research full face balaclava, and my homemade net gaiter scarf. It's got multiple uses, made by my best friend and wife, Angel Survival. Comrades, we made it. And this site that we're at, if you guys remember that extremely hot weather camp out that I did last summer, that's where we're at. And I saved firewood last time, but that's just going to be kindling for us because we're getting a big fire going today. And that's the first thing that I'm gonna work on before I even get camp set up, is getting all my firewood. And we started this adventure out at 12, a little after 12 actually. And I'm not gonna wait till dinner time to get a fire going. But before I go any farther, I want to explain something to you guys. You guys saw the layering system that I was wearing. Why do I wear things in layers? Well, wearing things in layers is better than wearing one garment that's super thick. And the reason why is because each layer will trap air between each of your garments. And so that creates a hot air and you stay warmer. But not only that, it also is good for being able to shed clothing. So if you get too hot, or if you start sweating, you can take off a jacket and then you can wear that for a while until your body cools down and then put it back on. Whereas if you're just having one layer, you can't do that. And the biggest thing in cold weather is you don't want to sweat. But guess what? You're gonna sweat. It doesn't matter. And that's why you should always wear different layers. I've got like 5 layers on, so I should be good, but we're gonna find out. All right, guys, well, let's go find some firewood, and we'll talk about another cold weather survival tip after that. Okay, so you guys know what I use. I use this silky big boy most of the time. Most of the time my videos is all I ever use. And what's nice about out here versus the cedar pine forest, because we didn't get to go there today, is I have all kinds of wood but it's different wood. Sand Ridge or cedar pine forest, we have lots of pine and lots of oak. Out here we have lots of oak and lots of hedge wood, which are both very hard woods, and hedge burns very hot. So I'm going to try to find some hedge and some oak to do our fire. If not, we have black locust. And if you guys are familiar with black locust, it's definitely a deadly tree. There's one of my first shelters I did on my video. There's all kinds of firewood in there. And we're gonna take wood from the survival shelter I made a few years ago. I really don't feel like, I've been looking around trying to find the perfect piece, and I'm like, I just need to get a fire going. But actually, I think I see a piece over there. Anyways, we're gonna take some firewood from the survival shelter, and I wanna show you a little another cold weather survival tip. The reason why we wear layers just because you sweat, and I'm sweating, and it's -1 out right now. So we'll take off the Slovakian jacket. We're gonna take off the down, and since I'm gonna be carrying wood, I'm not gonna wear the down jacket because this thing's gonna rip up. Whew. So just kind of dry out. I'll put this one back on, because it's got a lot tougher material to carry wood. And put you guys in this bag with a wool blanket that I have. This is a U.S. military improvised duffel bag. It can be used as a backpack too. So here we have a hackberry or hackleberry, whatever you want to call it, tree. And I'm gonna go ahead and use this for my base log. It seems kind of fresh. I started cutting into it. See it right there. But that's good for a base log. And I can't remember if I told you guys we're doing Siberian log fire, so it's good to have a little bit of a wetter log for your base log so it doesn't burn so fast. I don't care what anybody says, the Siberian log fire is the best cold weather fire there is. And I didn't come up this fire myself. There's actually a guy named Lars, has Survival Rush on YouTube. Probably many of you guys know who he is. I saw him make them fires, and those were awesome. I actually used them in a few of my videos, and it's just like a radiator. It just, or radiant, not radio, but radiate heat. It just radiates forward onto you. Some work. This is work, guys. Oh. Oh, praise the Lord. Woo. That thing, that was heavy. Oh. Oh.
Okay, had to take a break there, guys. I'm sweating. So here's your cold weather tip number, what, 2? I say wear layers. The best way to lose your body heat is your head and your hands. If you need to dry out without taking all your clothes off or taking layers off, take your hat off and your gloves just for a little bit until you start cooling down, and then put it back on. But you gotta be careful because you get frostbite that way easy too, so keep in mind. And that's where the wind chill factor is going to come in play. I'm out of breath still, guys, and my jaw, it doesn't want to move. So I'm gonna bring that log over here. We're gonna go to my old shelter. Forget sawing, I'm done sawing. We're just gonna use that wood. We're gonna make it work, so. How do I look? I got crystals. I want to show you guys what I got done so far. Here's what we got done. This is going to be a type of a Siberian log fire. This is the wood from my shelter. Come back here so you see my side. But we're going to start the fire under here on both sides, so catch both sides of this on fire, and it's going to be like a radiant heat coming off of us, or coming off the fire, I mean to say, onto us. My next step is to, oh, this is tiring, is to get some more wood, pile it on here, and then I need some bark for my bottom layer like I always do, and I need to cut this up here. This is the bed that I made from that shelter, and it's a piece of it. I'll show it to you. We'll go back to the shelter and I'll show you what I'm talking about, but we're gonna cut that up, and that's a piece of hedge, and we're gonna make our shavings with the hedge. So I've been walking back and forth bringing the wood over. Not too bad, it's not too far, and I already forgot my gloves. I gotta go back and get my gloves. But here's where we've been taking wood from, the shelter right here. And that right down there under all this is hedge wood. I'm trying to get to that. So I'm gonna get the rest of this off and try to pull that out. And I got a feeling this fire is gonna be awesome. Woo! So for all those who don't like batoning, we're gonna baton. And that's just my preference. I'd rather carry this than carry an axe. That's definitely hedge wood. You can see it right there. It's got real fibrous fibers on it. It burns really well. Kind of in a way, we're putting this bad boy to the test, because it's -1 degree Fahrenheit. Basically what I'm doing is I'm batoning them smaller, and I'm bringing guys down here, we're gonna shave them. Then we're gonna get this fire going finally, and I'm gonna stop talking, okay? All right, we got all of our kindling chopped up, or batoned. I'm gonna take this piece here, and we're gonna make our tinder feathers with it. It's not like pine or anything like that, but it does pretty good. Okay, we're back, and you guys are probably wondering, he's gonna start the fire now. No, I am. I got one more thing for you guys. Okay, survival tip, or cold weather survival tip number 3. Don't rely on your fire to keep you warm, because you can't always make a fire. You're not always going to be around a fire. What you got to rely on is your clothing. that is what you want to rely on to keep you warm. So there you go. That's cold weather survival tip number 3. And we'll get on to the 4th one later on. So let's finally get this fire going. We're gonna use Mr. Ray's fire ravioli. So let's get to it.
To my new subscribers, if you haven't seen a video of me making these, I'll put a link up in the screen. Key is not to rush. I got time. It's a little windy out. Since I only started the fire right here, and with this fire being so wide, or this fire lay being so wide, it's only gonna burn right here. But in all honesty, I feel like starting 2 or 3 different fire piles because it's cold and I'm wanting to get warm. And the easiest thing I can do is once this gets burning good, coals get in there good, I can spread the fire out, lay some longer pieces down, and then that way it'll start catching everything else on fire all evenly. So that's not a problem. It's not like I have to do each pile and start it like that. Just one pile, let the coals burn down, spread them out, and put longer sticks on. And that way I don't have to cut a bunch of little small pieces of wood or cut little like 6-inch pieces. I can just have real long ones and just set them in there, and then we're good to go. So I'm gonna go do that, and when I get back with you guys, we're gonna go ahead and set my sleeping arrangements up, and then probably give you another survival tip, and we'll probably get dinner going. So I got some good dinner tonight, guys, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, we're gonna get camp set up. It's been about 15 minutes. There's the fire so far. Here's my gloves, my other gloves I've been wearing to cut in. I gotta dry them out because they are wet. I better put them over here. Probably just a little too close. About right there is probably good. So looking good so far.